Hey everybody, I am back for day 3. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, we are in the middle of the 30 days of transformations. Okay, this is a challenge where I've committed to coming on here live every day for 30 days and talk about a transformation that has happened in my life because of, or as a result of, my body image shifting and changing and improving and me learning how to love myself. Okay, so we're doing this every day. Today is day 3. So you are getting me some days fully made up with hair. Today you're getting me, this is my weekend face, hair in a clip, no makeup. It's cool. So today we're talking about being emotionally vulnerable. And this is something that's really important to me because I think it's something that not a lot of people associate with changing your body image, right? Like we kind of always just assume that they're like 2 separate things, and they're totally not. They really are, like, they're one and the same. Like, they really do go together. I mean, I have always been quite an open person. Like, just personality wise, my experiences growing up, I've always been fairly open, okay? I've never been a super closed off person, but I was never confident about being open, if that makes sense. Like, I would open up to some people, I would talk to some people, but there would always be so much fear around it. I would do it anyways, sometimes, but I was always slightly terrified. I was open to a point, right? I was so scared of being judged. I was so scared that somebody would reject me. I mean, for years, I've talked about this, where my body image, the extra weight that I carried, has been armor. It protected me because I always had this idea in my mind. It wasn't always conscious, but I realized this a few years back, that me being overweight meant that, you know, if somebody rejected me, if I opened up to somebody and they rejected me, I could blame it on the fact that it was my body. If somebody, you know, said something not really nice to me, if I got passed over for a job, if I got dumped in a relationship, I could blame it all on my body, right? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was my body. My body was my armor. And in a lot of ways, my negative body image was kind of the same. So learning how to love my body meant that, well, I had to kind of basically realize that, like, that's not really how it works. It's really not a healthy way to be. I was never really confident in a lot of areas of life. I've always been a really good faker. I love the term fake it till you make it, because I've been really good at it my entire life. I've always been the girl that had a big smile on her face. I've always been the girl that, you know, could get really loud and could get sort of in the center of things, but I was always like on the inside, and I was crying on the inside. Like, I was like a fake vulnerability. Okay, I was like being a fake version of me, whereas now I don't really do that anymore. Now I feel like I can be me, and sometimes that does still mean being like the life of the party, and sometimes that means not going, or sometimes that means, you know, just sitting in the corner being quiet, and that's cool. Me being open, you know, being vulnerable with my emotions, being open with my emotions, doesn't mean that I get to be a drama queen. It means that I get to be real. I'm real, and I'm not afraid of the reaction I'm gonna get, because I know that if I am rejected, I know that if somebody doesn't like me, says something bad about me, if somebody decides they don't want to be my friend anymore, it's totally happened, I know that I can handle it. Like, through learning to love my body, I've really learned to love myself and respect myself, and realize that, like, I am freaking strong, and I can handle whatever comes at me. I've handled a lot in my life, and I can handle it. And my body love journey really has just boosted that confidence. So now when I'm going to bare my emotions to somebody, I'm no longer afraid of what they're going to say, because I know that even if I don't like what they're going to say, it's cool. Like, I got it covered. I got it covered. And I mean, I feel like this whole being emotionally vulnerable thing, this point, is kind of highlighted by the fact that I'm here and I'm doing this. And when I'm talking about my own body love journey, that's freaking emotionally vulnerable. Okay? I mean, if you look at all of my different videos, if you look at my content, if you're in the Body Love tribe, and you see what goes on in there and you see the trainings that are in there, it's vulnerable. I mean, in the 28-day Body Love Bootcamp, I talk so many times about my stories. That bootcamp was really created because it's what I needed years ago, before, you know, nothing existed like that at the time, or at least I didn't know it existed. And when I created that course, I was literally pulling from my experiences, and this is what I needed, and this is what I needed. And so I tell my stories in there. So I open up, I'm vulnerable, and I'm not scared of it anymore, and it's really awesome. So, you know, like if you have body image challenges, and I'm sure some of you watching may, and some of you may not, and that's totally cool. If you have body image challenges, do you talk about them? Do you talk about your stories? Do you open up to people? I mean, not that you don't have to be an open book, okay? Not everybody's going to get on Facebook and talk about their life story. That's cool. I get that. But you also don't want your negative body image to be like a muzzle. You know, you don't want your negative body image to be the thing that stops you from putting yourself out into the world and living your best life and connecting with people on a real, genuine level. Okay, that's really honestly like the last thing that you want. So at the end of all of this, I have a journal prompt for you today. And if you've been watching this, you know that each video there is a little tiny takeaway for everybody watching. So the journal prompt that I have for you today is, do you feel that a negative body image impacts your ability to be emotionally vulnerable? And your answer might be no. And that's totally fine. We're all unique. And your answer might be yes, just like mine did. And if it does, have some reflection on that. You know, like let's think about that. How does it keep you from opening up? And what does that impact in your life? Does that impact your relationship with your significant other? Does it impact your friendships? Does it impact your relationships with your other family members, or your coworkers, or whatever? Does feeling like shit about your body impact how you open up, and then impact your relationships? I would bet that it probably does. It did for me, and it does for most people. So that's it for today. I hope that this was helpful. I know that this is a topic, it's quite a broad topic, and it is a topic that a lot of people struggle with, and a lot of people don't want to talk about. And that's exactly why I'm here, because we are talking about it. Okay, so I'm gonna take off and enjoy my Saturday afternoon. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll be back on here tomorrow.